Welcome back to the channel, and if you haven't already seen the new intro video, you can see I've moved kitchen. Totally new kitchen, totally new house. I'm now in the middle of the Cumbrian countryside. I've got a beautiful garden out there, and we're going to be doing some videos outside as well. I'm getting a special oven built and grill, so we'll have some outdoor ones as well. But today we're going to start with a nice traditional English dish, which is fruit crumble. I think Americans would call it fruit crisp, I believe. But this is a very English dish, I think, and it's a really tasty one. So I'm going to start with the crumble topping, and for that I'm using 300 grams plain flour, all-purpose flour, and then I've got 150 grams of light brown sugar. We'll just mix them a little, and then I'm going to add 150 grams of butter. So it's basically a ratio of 2 parts flour to 1 part sugar to 1 part butter. And you want your butter nicely chilled, cold. And then we're just going to add that in, and then we're going to rub this butter into the flour, which takes a little bit of time. So you can actually do this in a food processor, but I quite like the idea of doing it by hand, to be honest. And you've also got a better sort of control because it depends how fine you want the crumb, because you can have it fairly sort of coarse and sort of a bit lumpy if you want. So it's going to take 5 minutes or so probably just to crumb this in. Right, so that's nice and fine. Few little sort of lumpy bits in there, but I don't mind that at all. Right, next, rolled oats, I think, is the key to a good crumble. And this is really, I'm not going to weigh this because I tend to just sort of guess. So it's probably about half a cup, thereabouts. And I'm also going to add flaked almonds. And if you don't like almonds, leave these out, that's fine. But it just adds, again, it adds a nice sort of texture, bit of flavour and a bit of crunch. So we just mix them through. What we can do afterwards, we could actually add some of the almonds on the top just before it goes in the oven. Right, that's good. So we'll put that to one side and we'll start on the fruit. So for the fruit, I'm just using a frozen fruit mix. So this is blackberry, blackcurrant and strawberry. But you can use it whatever fruit you like. You could add some apple into there, or pear. To be honest, I'm using this because I've had it in the freezer probably 3-4 months, and I'm sort of wondering what to do with it. So this is a good use, and it works really well, the frozen ones. So we'll just get them into the pan. I'm not really going to cook these much, I'm just going to soften them a little bit. Right, so they're about done. Strawberries are still quite firm with them being frozen, but that actually works quite well with them. They're quite large, and I don't really want them cooked down, otherwise they'll go like a real mush. So by the time they've gone in the oven, they should be perfect. So if we just pour that into a dish. Try and get an even sort of spread of the strawberries. Right, that's perfect. So now we can add the crumble. I don't know if I'm going to need all of this, to be honest. What I might do, because this actually freezes really well, the crumble. So if you don't want to use it all, you can just put it in a bag, put it in the freezer, and then all you got to do is defrost it next time, and you've got ready, enough ready for another crumble. But I do quite like a sort of a thick crumble. Nothing worse than just a skimpy amount on there. Yeah, that looks good. So I've got enough to do another one about the same, really. I'm actually going off my initial recipe was when I was doing a big one. That's the amount. So if you're half them amounts, you'll be about right for that. Then I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to add some of the almonds on the top, which just again gives us a nice sort of crunch to that topping. And I'm also going to put on demerara sugar. So demerara sugar is normally quite coarse. And again, it's all about that nice sort of crunch and the sweetness for the topping. Right, that's good. So that is going to go in an oven, 180 degrees fan oven or 200 degrees non-fan. My new oven, non-fan. Oh my God, it'll be fine, it'll be perfect. And that's going to go in for around about half an hour or until you get like a nice golden sort of topping. So what do you have with your crumble? It's a big argument really, this one. I think a lot of people like ice cream or cream, but I'm a sort of a traditionalist, and as a kid you've always got to have custard with a crumble. So I'm going to make a nice vanilla custard. Right, so to start, I've got 4 egg yolks just into a bowl, and if we just start to whisk them a little, then I'm going to add 5 tablespoons of granulated sugar. And you just want to sort of whisk this, and it will just go slightly lighter in colour. Doesn't take an awful lot. That'll do. Then I've got 250 ml of milk into a pan and 250 ml of double cream. You could use single cream if you want, but I quite like the richness that you get from double cream. And then I'm going to use a vanilla paste. You could use vanilla bean, vanilla pod, but about a teaspoon, good teaspoon of vanilla paste. You could use vanilla essence as well. And then we're just going to start to heat this, and we'll just get that flavour of the vanilla into the milk and the cream. So we more or less just bring it to the boil. Right, so that's come to the boil. So just before we add that to the eggs, just use like a level teaspoon of corn flour. Just mix that into the eggs. It's just going to help give us a smooth custard. And then we'll turn that off. Just add a small amount of the milk and cream. If you add too much, you could more or less scramble the eggs, so small amount at a time. A little bit more. And then the last of it. Now we can just add that straight back into the pan. And we're just going to cook that until it's just sort of thickens. So just keep an eye on it. It'll just take 3 to 5 minutes maybe. Right, so that's about ready. Just got, I like it fairly thin, the custard. If you want it thicker, just keep going, but just be careful not to let it catch, burn on the bottom. Just keep stirring all the time. Right, so that's ready. And now we'll get the crumble out of the oven. So that's the crumble out the oven, and you've got a nice golden top to it now. Nice crispy, sort of crunchy top. So we'll serve some of this. Try not to make too much mess. That looks good. Doesn't that look good? I'm gonna have to. It's probably red hot actually at the minute, but I will have to taste this. Perfect. Yeah, good custard. Good custard. So it's a must try this one. It's a beautiful pudding and it's fairly quick to do, which I quite like. But it takes you back to, I think, well, to me, when I was a kid, and you know, it's the sort of puddings that we would have as a kid. You know, we might have had like powdered custard or something, but you know, not fancy custard. But my mum was a really good cook, so it probably was a nice custard. So if you like the video, give us a like, and obviously subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to bring you plenty of new, beautiful, delicious recipes from the new kitchen.